The magic of thinking big. The border between dream and reality. Over the years of working on myself and my mindset, I've realized one thing that literally divides people into two camps. Some achieve cosmic results, realize crazy ideas, and build a life that takes your breath away. Others, with the exact same potential, spend their entire lives running in place. And you know what the difference is? It's not a matter of luck. It's not a matter of connections or genetic talent. It comes down to a simple but fundamental thing: belief. A quiet, absolute confidence that you are capable of more. The truth is, our brains are wired in a very interesting way. We never act based on the actual possibilities of the world. We always act solely based on what we ourselves believe is possible. Once, a book fell into my hands, David Schwartz's The Magic of Thinking Big. It largely confirmed my own observations. If you think small, your maximum will be small results. But if you allow yourself magnitude, the world begins to expand its borders. Today, I want to share my system and vision of this philosophy with you. I want your internal, invisible walls to simply fall after watching this video. Tune in for a serious conversation. We begin. Part 1. Anatomy of the Inner Critic. Let's face the truth. How many times in your life have you stopped yourself? Just remember the moment when a great idea appeared to change your field, launch a project, approach a person who seems to be on another level. And in that very second, a familiar, quiet, and very persuasive voice turns on inside, "Wait, you're not ready yet. You don't have enough knowledge. It's too risky." I have studied the nature of this voice for a long time. And Schwartz is absolutely right here. This is not the voice of reason. It is fear, very skillfully disguised as sober realism. We are used to believing this voice, but that is the biggest mistake. Your belief in yourself is a prophecy that always comes true. When you sincerely believe that a task is within your power, your mind immediately switches from panic mode to architect mode. It starts looking for tools, creating a path where previously there were only rocks. Your internal tone rises, your focus sharpens, and most interestingly, people around you begin to feel it. Confidence has its own magnetism. If you believe in your vector, others begin to believe in it too. But how do you turn on this belief when doubts are screaming in your head? My approach is simple. Start with micro steps. Intercept your limitations. The moment you catch the thought, "I can't," forcefully turn it around. Okay, but how exactly can I handle this? This minimal shift in focus changes the architecture of your thinking. The mind stops writing a list of excuses and starts drawing a map of solutions. Learn to visualize your success, but not foolishly, like in fairy tales, but with a clear emotional connection. See the finale of your work. Feel this state of pride and fulfillment of duty. The clearer your brain sees this picture, the stronger it adapts your reality to it. Remember, true confidence is not arrogance. It is a calm knowledge that you have everything to learn, grow, and deal with any challenge on your way. Great people do not have answers to all questions from day one. They simply believe they will find them in the process. And they find them. Part 2. The Trap of Realism and the Scale of Thoughts. The main law of my life and the first magic of great thinking sounds like this. You must believe in yourself before you get the first tangible result. Belief never follows success. Success is always the consequence of belief. When you realize this, the rules of the game change. Most people voluntarily lock themselves in a cage. The walls of this cage are built from other people's advice and social stereotypes. They have been told since childhood, come down to earth, be a realist, don't jump higher than your head. But let's figure out what this realism of yours is. In 90% of cases, it is just an excuse for one's own limitations and fear of the unknown. Thinking big is not about ignoring the laws of physics or living in illusions. It is about constantly expanding the boundaries of your current reality. I am deeply convinced that the scale of your life is directly proportional to the scale of your thoughts. Small thinking preserves you in a safe, comfortable, but completely dead space. Great goals, on the contrary, push you to a new depth, where there are challenges, but where there is real life. Change your questions. Instead of, how can I just cover my basic needs? Ask yourself, how can I create a product that will change the lives of thousands of people? Instead of, what is the minimum required of me? What is my true maximum? Where is my limit? This is not about chasing cheap popularity. It is about expanding your mental lens. Start demanding more from yourself because you are capable of more. As soon as you raise your internal bar and allow yourself to be a person who is worthy of great things, your daily actions will automatically begin to pull up to this standard. Look around. Skyscrapers, technologies, artificial intelligence, global companies, all of this was once just a thought in someone's head. Someone just refused to think small. These people were not saints or superheroes. They simply did not allow other people's frameworks to dictate their future. If you want to nurture this scale in yourself, hold on to my 3 rules. Purify your surroundings. Your circle of communication either raises your bar or suffocates your potential. Energy and mindset are transmitted. Watch your language. Remove words of doubt. Instead of, I will try if it works out, say, I will do it. Instead of, specifically, at such and such a time. Set goals for growth. Your goal should cause a slight tremor and discomfort. If the goal is completely clear and safe, it is too small. Your mind grows only when it has to stretch under massive tasks. Part 3. Excusitis, the mental virus of excuses. Let's talk about what destroys the potential of millions of people every day. It is fear and excuses. You can have an incredible intellect, brilliant ideas, and crazy ambitions. But if fear is driving your car, you won't even move from the spot. In The Magic of Thinking Big, the author calls this phenomenon a very precise medical term, excusitis, or the chronic disease of making excuses. As soon as you begin to analyze your thoughts, you will see that this virus has only 4 main strains. Strain 1. Health. I would do it, but I have no strength. Bad sleep, bad genetics, I get tired quickly. Strain 2. Age. I am still too green, no one will listen to me. Or vice versa. My time has passed, I should have started 10 years ago. Strain 3. Intellect. I am an ordinary person. I don't have that special brilliant mindset. Strain 4. Luck. They were just lucky to be in the right place at the right time, but I never get lucky. Do you know why these excuses are so dangerous? Because for ourselves, they sound maximally logical and reasoned. But in reality, this is just a psychological shield. Your brain is simply protecting you from discomfort, labor, and possible mistakes. It gives you a legal right to surrender before the battle even begins. Remember, everyone feels fear. Absolutely every leader or entrepreneur you admire fights a war against the exact same doubts every morning. The only difference is that they learn to act in spite of this fear. They don't wait for ideal conditions or the moment when fear completely disappears. They just take a step. The only medicine against this virus is action. The longer you sit, analyze, and postpone, the stronger and fatter your fear becomes. But it is worth making at least one real step, and the fog begins to dissipate. Change the vector of your thinking. When the brain draws a picture of, what if everything falls apart, consciously switch it. What if everything works out for me and this is my best decision? Stop feeding your limitations. Every time you catch yourself making an excuse, stop and ask, is this a real fact or is my fear trying to seem logical? Choose courage. No remarkable life was ever built in the comfort zone. Part 4. Why action always goes ahead of confidence. One of the biggest myths that prevents people from developing sounds like this. First, I will find confidence, take courses, tune in, and only then I will start to act. This is a trap. In reality, everything works exactly the opposite. Confidence does not precede action. It is its result. You act in a state of complete uncertainty, and only after that does true confidence in your abilities come to you. Action is the only thing that definitively cures fear. Remember any action that once seemed like a challenge to you. The first time driving, the first serious conversation, the first public speech. You were shaking, your hands were trembling, there was chaos in your head. But you stepped over this and started doing it. The 10th time, the fear disappeared. Why? Because your brain received ironclad proof. You are capable, you are alive, you are managing. Practice displaces uncertainty with facts. Confidence is a pure muscle. If you do not load it with discomfort, it atrophies and your life space begins to narrow. How do I apply this in practice? I don't wait for an ideal plan or perfectionism. I focus on progress. Make small contributions to your internal bank every day. Dream of a business? Don't wait for investors. Today, study the market, write a structure, make one call. Every such action is a coin in the piggy bank of your self-belief. And be sure to learn to fix your micro-victories. Most people notice themselves only when they buy an apartment or close huge deals. But your character is tempered precisely in those unnoticeable moments when it was hard, scary, lazy for you, but you stood up and did what you had to do. Respect your courage in small things, and then your brain will understand that you are ready for massive challenges. Part 5. Your attitude is the architect of your reality. Your attitude toward life, your internal mood, is not just emotions. It is a real magnet that either attracts strong people and great opportunities to you or repels them. Success is never based solely on technical skills or luck. Everything begins with your mental tuning. Our thinking forms the emotional background, and emotions dictate the quality of our actions. When your mood is victorious, your decisions become precise and massive. When you are in a negative state, even an ideally calculated strategy fails. Think about the people you truly want to work with or just be around. They radiate pure, strong energy. After a meeting with them, you feel an elevation. You get the strength to act. This is not a coincidence. People with a positive attitude create a space around them where ideas grow and scale. Negativity and constant whining, on the contrary, simply suck out resources. Negative thinking has the property of blowing up any problem to the scale of a catastrophe, making opportunities invisible. For me, life is exclusively a question of perspective. Two people can find themselves in an absolutely identical crisis. One will drop his hands and say, "This is the end. Everything is lost." Another will look at this and say, "Okay, this is a tough challenge, but this is my best springboard for growth." The circumstances are the same. The results will be cardinally opposite only because of the difference in attitude. You cannot always influence external storms, but you control your steering wheel 100%. Positive thinking is not about naive optimism or ignoring problems. It is about a conscious choice to focus on your zone of influence and draw lessons from any difficulties. Instead of, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this for, and what will this teach me?" This is a fundamental rewiring of the brain from the position of a victim to the position of the author of your reality. Try to implement a simple morning habit. Instead of the news feed, ask yourself, "What cool thing can I create today?" Set your radar for opportunities. People always gravitate towards strong energy. Your attitude is that filter through which your individual universe is created. Protect it as the most precious treasure. Part 6. Clear goals as your mental GPS. Let's be frank, large-scale thinking without a specific vector is just empty fantasies that lead to nothing. Schwartz very clearly separates empty dreams from large-scale planning. People who achieve extraordinary results give their big thoughts a rigid framework in the form of specific, measurable goals. A goal is your personal mental GPS. It sets the direction for the subconscious and instantly cuts off all informational noise, focusing your resources into one point. But there is an important rule here. Never set yourself exclusively safe, small goals that you are guaranteed to close without effort. Set what makes you grow, what causes healthy excitement and slight fear. If your goal does not make you develop, it is too small for your potential. When the goal is fixed, turn on creative, innovative thinking. Successful people always think in categories of possibilities. When there is a wall in front of them, they don't say, "It's impossible." They ask the question, "How exactly can we realize this?" And at that moment, the brain begins to generate solutions. Creativity is not about art. It is about the skill of solving complex life tasks from a higher point of view. When you switch attention from the problem to the search for options, limitations disappear. Here is my favorite practice. Write your main big goal on a piece of paper. And now, force yourself to write 10 absolutely different, even the most crazy ways to achieve it. Do not weigh or criticize them at the writing stage. Just let the thoughts flow. You will be surprised how many non-standard paths open up when you leave the template that there is only one correct option. Winners are not those who had a flawless starting plan. They are those who constantly thought, adapted, experimented, and changed strategy until it worked. Goals are bridges that turn your massive thoughts into real material results. Part 7. Leader Mindset and Philosophy of Interaction. No matter how powerful and autonomous you are, big results are never created alone.
Large-scale thinkers deeply understand the phenomenon of human relationships.
They know how to inspire, unite, and build deep, honest connections that amplify each participant of the process. Great thinking in the context of relationships is not about how to use others for your goal, but about how to grow together with them. True leadership always begins with respect and attitude toward people. True leaders do not try to dominate, break over the knee, or intimidate. They listen, support, and open up their hidden potential in people. They see the best version in a person even when they doubt themselves. And that is exactly why such leaders are followed voluntarily and with enthusiasm. Remember the strongest mentor or manager in your life. He didn't just give orders and control deadlines, right? He made it so that you yourself believed in your strength and wanted to do more than was expected of you. This is large-scale leadership. Small, insecure people constantly criticize, gossip, and compete because of internal complexes and fear that they will be replaced. Great thinkers create synergy. They build bridges, not walls between people. If you think big, you understand the main rule of success. When you help another to rise, your own status and your result only double from this. Introduce it into your ironclad habit to sincerely thank and note the merits of other people. Make honest compliments. Notice the efforts of the team or loved ones, even if the final result is not yet ideal. A few words of sincere support can completely change the trajectory of the day for a person. The energy of encouragement is a free but incredibly strong weapon of a great thinker. Communicate constructively, avoid empty negativity, and remember, your leadership is not a position in a contract. It is your daily influence on your family, colleagues, friends, and above all, on yourself. Lead people by your vision of the future, rather than managing them through fear. Final, how to turn scale into a daily lifestyle. All these insights and philosophical thoughts make sense only in one case, if you implement them into your real life. Large-scale thinking is not a one-time effect after watching my video. It is a daily discipline, a consistent system, and your personal choice. It is the style of your life. How to maintain this level every day? I will give a few of my ironclad rules. Control your morning. The first hour after sleep lays the foundation for the whole day. Instead of automatically opening the phone and clogging the brain with a news feed, noise, or someone else's life, dedicate this time to your goals. Scroll your vision of the future in your head. Feel it. Program your focus before the world starts dictating its rules to you. Consciously choose your surroundings. Mindset is a virus. If you are constantly among people who complain, play it safe, and think in categories of scarcity, you will unnoticeably start to shrink your own goals. Look for those who dream big, who act, who create. Their pace and belief will fuel your inner fire. Implement evening analysis. At the end of the day, allocate 5 minutes for an honest conversation with yourself. Ask, what specifically did I do today to get closer to my 10-year vision? What can I do better tomorrow? Great results are not a random quantum leap. It is monotonous, daily work in one chosen direction. Hold your posture, speak confidently, treat your work with maximum respect. Carry yourself as if you have already reached that peak to which you are going. Constantly invest in your mind. Read deep books, study the experience of great people, watch content that makes your brain strain.
Your potential grows only when you challenge it.
The magic of thinking big is not about being flawless or never making mistakes.
It is about the courage to believe in yourself, set big goals, and act every day despite any fears and circumstances. Stop agreeing to less. Start thinking big right now. If this video made you think or gave you the right impulse, support the channel with your like. Share this release with a person who vitally needs to hear these words right now, and subscribe to Audiobook Library. Ahead of us is a lot of powerful work and breakdowns that change thinking. Think big, act boldly. See you in the next video.